Welcome or welcome back. My name is Tab, and I love to talk about books. In today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I am going to be doing my quarter 1 reading wrap up. So all the books that I've read in January, February, and March, I'm going to do in a tier ranking just to kind of make things easier. The thought of making 3 videos about a reading wrap up from the months before is so overwhelming, but after realizing how much of a pain in the butt it is to do tier ranking, I maybe would have thought differently. However, here I am, and I'm just going to go over a couple stats before I share my screen and get into the tier ranking part. So in January, February, and March, I read a total of 73 books. That equaled 27,800 pages. And my favorite book so far this year is Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. In January, there was 31 days and I read 26 books. In February, there was 28 days and I read 22 books. In March, there was 31 days and I read 25 books. And in the description, I am not going to link every single book, but I will link my Goodreads and my FABLE. So if you want to see all the books that I have read this year and my ratings and reviews, then definitely click the link and follow me and check all my stuff out. Okay, here we go. Now, bear with me. I have my main computer screen, and then I have my computer screen with my ratings. So here we go. Grab a drink, grab a snack. This is overwhelming. But I hope that you find a couple books that you can add to your own TBR because I have over 70. So I'm sure some will hit. The first book I read in January was All Roads Lead Here. I rated this 4 stars. It's a single dad. A woman moves into his apartment above his garage. Grumpy Sunshine. Next was The Path to Loving Him by Megan Quinn. I rated this 4.5 stars. This is also a single dad and another woman who moves above his garage. Not Another Love Song. This was a spicy book. This was 4 on my spicy scale, and I rated this 4.5 stars. And it has a really nice, musical, artistic theme to this book. Indigo Ridge. So I thought that I was going to enjoy this book a little bit more than what I did. It's a romantic suspense. I just thought it was going to be more suspenseful or nitty gritty or have more of a plot to it. It reminded me very much of a Hallmark movie with a little bit of question in the air. So I rated this 3.5 stars. And then Insatiable. This is the first book in the Edge of Darkness trilogy by Lee Rivers. This trilogy, check your trigger warnings. I don't even have trigger sensitivities, and this book crushed my soul. I have not read a dark romance like this since reading this because it wrecked me. I don't understand how people are treated like this, that this really happens in the world. Oh my God. It was so heartbreaking. The first book I ended up rating 4.5 stars. Out on a Limb, rated this 5 stars. It was so, first of all, it was an accidental pregnancy, and these 2 characters, they both had limb disabilities. He had one on with his leg, and she had one with her hand, and seeing them work together, and they really have an understanding of the complications and just how life is just even more difficult for them with their disability, and them being together, they were so perfect for each other. So perfect, especially with accidental pregnancy. This book, it was so good. This was my top book of January. The next book is Fight. I ended up rating this 3.5 stars. This is part of, it's wildlife firefighter series, and each author did there's a different author for each book, and there's 3 of them. This is on KU. I enjoyed the cover more than I enjoyed the book. These covers are hot. The next one is a Final Offer. I rated this 4 stars. This is the last in the Dreamland Billionaire series, which this book was a lot more darker than the other 2, but I appreciated it. Still See You Everywhere by Lisa Gardner. This was a thriller, and I rated this 4.5 stars. I think that's the highest I've ever rated a thriller. It was so good. A Sweet Temptation. This is part of also a series of 3. They are billionaire brothers. It's light and fluffy rom-com. I rated this 4 stars. Variation, I rated this also 4 stars. It is a Coast Guard rescue diver and a ballerina. The Marriage Auction, I rated 3.5 stars. What's unique about this book is there are 4 guys trying to buy 4 brides. And in this book and the books that follow, there's 4 books in this series, it's everyone's point of view. So book 1 isn't just following a couple, it's following all 4 couples. And it was really interesting, and it made it less boring than what I thought it was going to be. No One Will Know. This was also a thriller. I rated this 3 stars. I believe it dealt with like a nanny going to a remote island, and she realizes that this offer was too good to be true. She tries to leave, and it's not as easy as she thought it was going to be. Okay, now we're on to books 2 and 3 of the Edge of Darkness series. So it's Voracious and Restitution. Voracious, I rated 4 stars. Now, this is a middle of a series, well, a trilogy. I usually always rate the second book lower than the first and the third. The first book is always good because you're getting a lay of the land. Usually the beginning of the book is happy, you're meeting the characters, and then towards the end of the book, you're left on a cliffhanger, but you're, being optimistic. You're thinking that it's not going to be as bad as everyone's saying, or you can handle this. Then the second book comes, and they're in the thick of it. There's really not much happiness. It's just survival. And like I said, the second book was the worst with how these 2 were treated. I can't even fathom this happening in real life. But the third book, I rated 4.5 stars. It was, I don't want to say great because the topics that it talks about are not great, but I enjoyed the ending of it. Flawless, I rated 4 stars. Everyone knows Elsie Silver. It's small town, ranch, cowboy, dream girl drama. I enjoyed this book so much. It is like a forbidden romance with step siblings. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but I did. And another book that I did not think I was going to enjoy as much as I did is Bull Moon Rising. I rated this 4 stars, and this is like a magical, fantastical. There's minotaurs and like animals that are humans. It was such a good read. And I picked this up solely for the book cover. It was so pretty, and then I was so pleasantly surprised when I started to read it. Broken French, this was 5 stars. This is a billionaire widow who needs a nanny to live on the houseboat to take care of his little girl in the Mediterranean. Okay, first of all, sign me up. My first disappointment of 2025 was The City and Its Uncertain Walls. I rated this 2.5 stars. I thought this book was going to just be better than what it was. It was really a mashup of this author's 2 previous books, and it was just so repetitive. I didn't even want to finish it, but I did. The next book is Wild Eyes. I rated this 5 stars. This book was, and I've already read the 3rd book in this series. What is it? Wild Side? Yeah, I think Wild Side. And this Wild Eyes is my favorite book in this series. It's like a single dad with 2 kids. He is such a golden retriever, fun, happy, and I love this book. This was a feel good book, and like I said, I enjoyed it so much. Not in my book. I rated this one three. Yeah, I rated it 3 stars. It was kind of boring. It was definitely, I believe they were both authors. And so if you like books about authors, then definitely pick that up. The Grandest Game, I rated this 3.5 stars. It was really good. It kept me, guessing, but it wasn't anything spectacular. A Photo Finish, I rated this 4 stars. Elsie Silver, Ranch, Small Town, love it. The next book is The Chamber, and I wish I liked this book more. I rated it 2.5 stars. This has everything that I love. It had locked room and it was in close quarters underwater in a chamber that like takes days for it to be able to come to the surface for you to get out of it. So you are literally locked in there and people are just dying. Like their crew is dying, and how are they dying? We don't understand how. And it just wasn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be or thrilling. Okay, Nothing Ever Happens Here. This was 2 stars. I really wasn't doing that hot in the beginning of the month. 2 stars. I did not like anything about it. I don't remember anything about it. I believe it was a thriller. I got it as an e-arc. It just wasn't for me. And of course, we go to Onyx Storm. This book felt like it took me like days upon days to finish. I rated it 4 stars and it was good. It felt like it took me so long to read. It's a big book, but it's not any bigger than the previous ones. It only took me 2 days to read, but it felt like so much longer. I did enjoy it though. I can't wait for the fourth book to come out, but I know it's not going to be for, probably years. The Perfect Rom-Com, I rated this 4 stars. Okay, Rock, Paper, Scissors, I rated this 3 stars. It was an okay thriller, like domestic husband and wife. They go to some creepy like chapel that's converted into like an Airbnb kind of, and creepy neighbors, blizzards. It was just okay. The Fall Risk, I rated 3.5 stars. This was a short read around like Valentine's Day. It was two people who live on the upper level of their apartment complex, and they're kind of stuck up there. So it's forced proximity for sure. And then I have Wolfie. Or Wolf. I call it Wolfie because why is there a period between the F and the E? It reminds me of Wolf, period, E. But I guess it's called Wolf because that's the male main character's name. This is such a good read. It is a dark MC romance, which this is my first time reading it. It's not nearly as dark as the Edge of Darkness trilogy, but it was, burly motorcycle guys. So I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. Emma of 83rd Street. I rated this one 3. It was just okay. It's Jane Austen Emma retelling. The Last Room on the Left, I rated this 3 stars. It was also just okay. These thrillers are it's like a thriller with an ex-boyfriend, a best friend, people go missing, people aren't answering, someone's locked in a room. Out of the Woods. Now, I thought this book was going to be a huge hit. I loved Out on a Limb. That was my favorite book in January. This book I did not like. 2.5 stars. It just was not interesting to me, and I don't know if it's because it dealt with a couple that was already married. So to me, like the mysterious aspect of this book was already taken away because they're already married. They're just trying to work on their marriage and find each other as separate identities instead of being a couple because they were together when they were super young. So they really never had time to be like themselves. And this is them just trying to like work through that. All This and More, I rated 3 stars. This was like a choose your own adventure book. First I've ever read of it, and it was very entertaining, but also stressful because I'm a type A. I chose my own adventure, but then I needed to go back and choose every other adventure too, and it was just like a headache by the end of it. Close your eyes and count to 10. I rated this 3.5 stars. This reminded me of like a Beast Games hide and seek in a huge abandoned building, and obviously not everyone comes out alive. Temple of Swoon, I rated 3 stars. It's archaeologists going on like a dig exploration. It was cute. A Court of Mist and Fury. 6 stars. Hallelujah. I don't know what took me so long to read this second book in the ACOTAR series, but it took me so long, and I am so happy I read this book, but I am so disgruntled that I will never get that experience back again. This book was so good. It is romantasy, enemies to lovers. I loved everything about this book. Unromance, I rated 3 stars. Nothing. I can't even kind of remember what it's about. Maybe he's like a radio host. I don't know. People We Meet on Vacation, Emily Henry, 3.5 stars. I only read this because I know the movie's going to be coming out, and I wanted to kind of, usually the book is better, and I love guessing, and at the end being like, nah, the movie was better or the book was better. That's the only reason I read it. The Last Resort, I rated this also 3.5 stars. This was the last book in the Royal Resort series, The Billionaire Brothers. What Happened to the McCraes? I rated this 5 stars. This is such a good family drama book. It's basically the husband moved away and then came back after his divorce multiple years later after his dad suffers a stroke. It is so good, and the whole time you're wondering what happened between their marriage, like what went wrong, and this whole book is figuring that out and uncovering it. If you can believe it, we're already on book 43. Holding the Reins, I rated this 3.5 stars. Small town, ranch, nothing overly impressive, just very regular. Kissed and Missed. This was 4 stars. This is a novella, and it's all part of like an age gap. I believe there's 3 books in this series, and it's all age gaps and quick reads, and I love them so much. Promise Me Sunshine, I rated this 4.5 stars. This book was so good. Cara Baston's she released a book in 2024 that was an unplanned pregnancy also, and I absolutely love that book too. I think that was one of my top books of 2024. I have realized that I do enjoy this author. Listen for the Lie, I rated 2.5 stars. It was a huge letdown. It was boring. I didn't like it. I didn't despise it as much as I despised P.S. I Hate You. I rated this book 2 stars. P.S. I hated this book. I could not stand the main character. She was unbearable, spoiled, such a brat. I don't understand how anyone could have any interest in her. I did not like her, and it ruined the book for me. The idea of this book, the plot was all great, sweet. I just didn't like her. I'm getting all worked up again. This Woven Kingdom, I rated 4 stars. This was my first book by this author, and it was such a romantasy, magical. I loved it, and I can't wait. I believe it's These Infinite Threads is the second book. I can't wait to pick that one up. Oh, wow. Here we go. We're coming down. The Puzzle Box. I rated this 4.5 stars. This book was so good. It's like a second book in a series. It follows Mike Brink. He's like a savant. He had some traumatic brain injury when he was in high school playing football, and now he's super smart. So he was going to Asia, I think maybe Japan, to try and unlock the mysterious puzzle box that no one has unlocked before. And if you try to unlock this and you fail, you die. Ooh, A Sign of Affection, Volume 9. I rated 4.5 stars. This is such a cute romance manga, coming of age. It is sweet, tender-hearted. Please pick it up. It's so easy to like get sucked into this. Next one, You Are Fatally Invited. It's a thriller. I believe authors got invited to like this author who's never shown themselves, or an author that's super famous, and it's a bunch of authors trying to kiss butt with this other mysterious author. It wasn't anything super great. Story of My Life. 4 stars. I love Lucy Score. This is a new book in a new series, and it did not disappoint. Deep End, I also rated 4 stars. Spicy, college, swimming, loved it. Give Me Butterflies. This was 4 stars. I thought this book was going to be borderline lame. I thought it was going to be like tame. I mean, there's butterflies on the cover. They kind of look a little bit like dorky nerds. This book was spicy, and this book was good. Don't let covers deceive you. They did for me in a bunch of these, but most of the time it turns out good. Okay, Claire Darling. I rated this 2.75 stars. This, I believe it was like a domestic thriller, fiance, a wife, a guy, paranoia, psychiatric. It just wasn't anything to write home about. I got that as an e-arc. And then Rebel Witch, I rated 3 stars. I was kind of a little disappointed in this book. This was the second book in the duology, and I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I was gonna. Powerless, I rated 3.75 stars. It was the second book in a trilogy, so of course I'm not going to rate it super big. It's usually the third book I'm going to rate, and that's kind of like the general gist of the whole series, is how they can tie it up. One Dark Window, I rated 3 stars. I know people love this book. I'm set to read the second book in this duology sometime in May. I just thought it was kind of boring. I needed a little bit more, but it was good. Belladonna, I rated this one 2 stars. I thought I was going to really be into this one. I did not like it. I didn't like the verbiage of it. I didn't really like the characters. It was just like very gothic. I mean, I knew that going into it, but I didn't think I was going to dislike it as much as I did. And then Fushigi Yugi, The Mysterious Play, The Priestess. This is a romance manga, the first series in it. I rated it 2.5 stars. I'm not going to continue with that series. There was really nothing bad with it. It was just a romance manga of kids in like middle school, and I just couldn't get on board with it. I have a middle schooler. Okay. Sophie Kinsella, she was the first author that I've ever read from. This book, What Does It Feel Like, was 5 stars. It was a quick novella, and it is very closely based on her true life. So it is a fiction book, but in this book is as close to an autobiography that you're going to get, and it is heartbreaking. And I must Google Sophie Kinsella at least once a month to see how she's doing. Rogue Protocol, I rated this 3 stars. I want to say this is the third book in the Murderbot Diary series. It's quick novella books. A Sign of Affection, Volume 10. I rated this 4.5 stars. This was probably one of my favorite books in the series. This is, of course, I think there's only 1 or 2 more volumes left in this, so it's really getting good and the characters are really maturing. So that one was really good. Blob, A Love Story. I rated this 1. I did not enjoy this. This was weird. The character was so depressing. She made me uncomfortable, and I couldn't get on board with it. I just couldn't. Fragile Sanctuary. This was my first Catherine Cowles book. It is a romantic suspense. I rated it 3.75 stars. It was okay. Kind of the ending really left me not impressed whatsoever. Like, it just kind of like cut off, and I thought it was just going to be a little bit more. I'm guessing romantic suspense isn't giving me what I think romantic suspense is supposed to give me, but I'm always going to try it. I'm going to finish this series. I'm going to read more Catherine Cowles. I liked it. It just, now I know going in what my expectations are going to be. First Time Caller. I rated this 4 stars. I love a single parent romance, and this is like based on the Sleepless in Seattle movie. So I love that movie. This book was really good. Beg, Borrow, or Steal. I rated 4.5 stars. I enjoy Sarah Adams. I enjoy the When in Rome series, and I enjoyed these characters. They were both teachers. Okay, The Awakening. This is 5 stars. This is the first book in the Zodiac Academy series, and it was so good. I enjoyed it so much. I have already since then read the second and the third book, and this world is so good. And the first book was very much world building, but it was not boring. It was so good. It really gears you up to want to fully immerse yourself in the whole Zodiac Academy series. Wild Side, I rated 4.5 stars. This book was so good. It was like a single parent, and there's a wrestler, and it was so interesting. I haven't read a book with wrestling in it ever. I don't really like wrestling, but it definitely made me want to like see what wrestling was all about. All right. My favorite book so far. Let me grab you, Carrie Maniscalco. Throne of Secrets. Now, I gotta move this. I liked this one more than A Court of Mist and Fury, but hear me out. Both of these books are second in their series, and both are romantasy, enemies to lovers. I think I have a thing, but it needs to be done correctly. Throne of Secrets is the best book. I emailed this author to tell her how much I love this book, and to please, if you ever doubt yourself, don't, because for anything, you can look back at my email and see that you have an unvoted fan, that I am going to love you until the end of time, and I'm going to read every single thing that you could possibly think of putting out. The first book I read in this series, I rated 4 stars. It was not great. The second book, it was magnificent. She could not have changed anything in this book. And this isn't a trilogy. It's going to have multiple books in this series. So usually the second book is like a slump for me. This book, I waited so long to read this book because I thought it was going to be garbage. And when I closed this book, I told myself, you are such an idiot. You should have read this book sooner, because I was flying on a high so bad after I read this book. But then the only thing was, the next few books that I read after this never came close to it. Oh, Recipe for a Charmed Life. This was a really cute, I rated this 3 stars. This was a cute, like, culinary romance, maybe romance. It was mostly the female main character finding herself, finding her mom, going back to a seaside town, and there's, like, an oyster farmer guy. But they don't really have a ton of, like, romance. Maybe they kiss, I'm not sure. But it was still good, very light read. The Starlight Heir, I rated this 2.5 stars. It was just so, the names, the plot, and I don't know if it's because I read Throne of Secrets and that was romantasy and nothing could touch that book, but this book, it was just so boring. I could not get past the names of the cities, the names of the characters. I really didn't like it, and I won't be continuing with that series. And the last book that I read is The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. This is a workplace romance manga. I rated it 3.5 stars, and it's basically the guy has magical abilities. He can't show emotions regularly. His emotions turn into ice, snow, sleet, whenever he gets overexcited. Like the poor guy can't even own a cat because he loves cats so much, but he shows so much emotion that he like freezes his whole apartment. So he has to instead watch cat videos on his phone to get like his cat fix. It was a little bit strange. The female main character brings in like something that has to do with a cat that was kind of creepy, but I do plan on continuing the series just because it was super cute. It's quick read and all the editions are available on my Libby. All right. So that was 73 books, what I read January, February, March of 2025, and here they all are. I think this is a pretty solid list, and I think if you're looking for some books to read or you're kind of in a slump, then definitely try picking up at least 2 of my 6-star reads if romantasy is something that you enjoy reading. But even try my 5-star reads. It's a lot of romance. All of these books I would not take back reading besides Blob, but truthfully Blob has such an interesting like synopsis. I probably would have read it anyway. It's basically a sentient like blob turns into this girl's dream guy. It's weird, but I guess worth it to read. It's a novella, so it's short, so you don't have to worry about wasting too much of your time. But if you have stood out for the whole entire video, 73 books, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this, and I will be back in my next video. Bye.